Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my teacher from Lincoln High School in Owasso, Mrs. Rubenstein. She actually helped me out a lot in math, which was my worst subject, so thank you
You're
for
welcome.
that. Um, and then I have a few questions for her, and then if she wants to, she can ask me some questions at the end. But if you're ready, I'll start with the first question.
I'm game.
All right. So my first question, I feel as if a lot of teachers have a hard time reaching like a good majority of the students, and what's a way that we could help that?
Oof. Um, I honestly, there's no one way. Being persistent. I don't usually quit.
Yeah.
And just finding something that does interest them, because obviously math was not an
Yeah,
interest of
no, definitely.
yours at
And
all.
honestly, yeah, definitely there was ways that like I got interested in certain parts of it a lot better,
Yeah,
so
I hear all the time that kids don't necessarily like my subject, but like me. And I think that's the
yeah.
biggest thing for a teacher is if you can make a connection with the kid, you'll get the
Mhm.
subject matter through. I mean, it's not math that excites people as much as
Yeah.
I would love it to. It's just getting to know the kid and getting them to trust that they can do the math because a lot of times it's I can't, I can't, I can't.
Yeah.
So yeah, just getting to know the kids.
Yeah, I actually always felt that way, like with teaching and like just raising somebody into adulthood is like you have to get them to respect you, and then once they respect you, it's like they want to like keep earning that respect, so they like work harder.
Well, and even that's transitioning because I hear a lot of kids say they respect me, but they don't necessarily work very hard because they
Mhm.
haven't built habits of how to work.
Yeah,
So I have to relearn my curve of okay, they don't have these habits built, so I don't take it as personally these days.
yeah,
But yeah, you got to grab their attention one way or
hmm,
another.
yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah.
Um, so what's the worst and best like moments from your teaching like time?
Oh my goodness. So this is I'm 18 years deep this year, which is shocking. I didn't think I'd be 18 years of doing anything. Um,
That's awesome.
the
Congratulations.
thanks. Yeah, I'm either crazy or I enjoy what I do. It's a little bit of both, I think. But best and worst kind of go together. My best moments are when kids finally get it or realize that what I've been trying to get
Definitely.
through to them is the truth, and I'm not just making this
Right.
up and saying I have to do this for my job.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part and the worst moment of it is a lot of times that doesn't happen when they are my student.
Yeah.
It happens about 10 years after I've had them.
Right.
And they're either raising children of their own or they're experiencing the real world.
So
And
you have to kind of like wait to see if, how it.
there's a lot of delayed gratification for sure.
Yeah.
I'm very blessed. I have a lot of kids, including yourself, that have come back into my life one way or the other.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
so I feel like eventually that difference is made, but it may not be made today or next hour, but
Yeah,
it
definitely.
gets through.
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of teachers that I wanted to like reach back out to, and I have like talked to a few of them here and there, and it's like it's definitely awesome because like I don't know like, and this is like everywhere, not just teaching, but like I feel like it happens a lot to teachers, but I feel like they don't exactly get like recognition for like the hard work they put in sometimes, and it's like I just want to like go around and like help people like recognize people for stuff they do, so like that's a big part of this anyways,
Yeah.
but
No, I think sometimes the realization it strikes us at different moments. I'm not sure I
yeah.
appreciated my teachers, even though I was a good student.
Yeah, no, exactly. I
I
feel
just
like,
kind of went through the steps. So,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. What to you makes a good teacher?
Oh, I was afraid you were going to ask that one.
Okay.
I still have a very hard time calling myself a good teacher. My husband will tell you that too. He gets mad at me. Um,
You
I
always, sorry, you
no,
always, you always want to be, to me, you always, you don't ever want to be like satisfied with something, like completely satisfied because then like you're not like improving.
I think
So,
that's there's true to it. I think for everything I think I do fairly well,
hmm,
there's another five things I need to improve upon.
hmm,
Competing with technology
yeah,
currently is a real
definitely.
battle.
That's
I'm not instantly gratifying. You're not matching three things and blowing stuff up in class. I've got to compete with that now.
definitely,
Um, but I think a good teacher is just somebody who doesn't quit. I think it's probably the best thing I can tell any teacher is there are times where a kid will tax you to the end, but that's the same kid that you need to keep
yeah,
reaching out
definitely.
to and for, even though if you're going to pull out your last hair. And when you get to a
Hmm.
point where that kid's no longer worth it, you probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that because I feel like there are some students that do kind of like naturally like do their work better, and then there's the kids that don't. I mean, I honestly was like, sometimes I was like in the middle of there, but I feel like a lot of times I was more like I didn't want to do my stuff, and there was some teachers that would come and help me, and that really like did something, and that's why I actually did graduate in the end. So.
A little bit of push, pull, and drag for sure.
Hmm.
But I think that's the only thing I can say that makes me any better than anybody else could be is I don't quit. I'm stubborn.
Hmm.
Have been since birth.
Yeah, I remember that.
My favorite teachers are the ones that were helpful and didn't make me feel insignificant or dumb.
Hmm.
I hated that. I often got, well, you're the smart kid, figure it out. I may be smart, but sometimes you need help.
Hmm.
And what if you aren't the smart kid? And that's just going to turn you off and be like, well, now I'm the stupid kid.
Yeah.
So I'm careful not to pigeonhole kids. I think that's
Yeah.
probably my biggest win is I take everybody as valuable.
Yeah.
So.
I definitely saw that. In your eyes, what determines success after school?
Oh, goodness. Not algebra 2. No, probably never use it again. I think the biggest thing, and I see it a lot at Lincoln, more so I taught honors students at the high school before I came here, and I tell kids every day that the kids here are far more smart than the ones there because they can follow the rules and they can be the good student.
Hmm.
But a good adult, a good learner and problem solver is one that doesn't necessarily know everything, but they find a way to do it.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot more grit and perseverance, and you've overcome some things.
Hmm.
So honestly, I think that after graduation bit is the whole willingness to keep going. Don't quit.
Hmm.
Realize that a no isn't always a no, and you got to just keep going until you get the yes. Because I think you guys have seen a lot of doors shut in your face, and that wasn't enough to stop you. So keep going.
Yeah. Actually, that kind of reminds me of somebody I just recently saw online that I was like talking to. He said that you don't truly like know yourself completely until like you've hit rock bottom at some point. And I feel like that kind of helps with some of the people here. Like they've had really rough situations in life, so then like it kind of like is like I've been through rough stuff, so I can
Yeah.
push through this.
Well, and they've seen an actual struggle and not just the, oh, I got a B on a paper.
Yeah,
Like, a B's not
exactly.
going to kill you.
Yeah,
Honestly,
exactly.
a D will get you a diploma, but that natural grit of not quitting and coming
Mhm.
back and continuing
Yeah.
is what adulting is about. I mean, I can't tell you things come easy. They don't.
No,
So,
no, definitely
yeah.
not. It's
Yeah.
very hard. What is the biggest issue school systems face today?
I can tag that one. Technology. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. They have Chromebooks. They're 1-to-1. They've got their phones. They've got their headphones in. And there's this constant competition with all of that. So trying to
Yeah,
get them to
that would
disengage
be.
from technology, realizing that just because you can photo math something isn't actually learning it.
And then they can just look up anything.
Oh, Google.
Yeah.
Google knows all.
Yeah.
But the idea of being able to, you have to change teaching so it's not Googleable.
Mm,
You got to ask a question. It takes more thought than that.
yeah.
And it's getting trickier for sure. But I fight with technology and that instant gratification.
Yeah, because when you're looking up Google, you're taking the problem solving part away from it too. And that's
Yes
a
and
big
no.
part.
I'm amazed at these. I mean, you've grown up with
Yeah,
electronics
no,
your whole
that's
life. You've
true.
never not known a computer. And these kids can't even search sometimes for the right thing. They don't know what
Oh, yeah.
search terms to use. And trying to get them to understand that while they use technology a lot,
Yeah.
they may not use it effectively.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
So,
true.
yeah.
I'm still learning that on this.
Yeah.
Let me read that one because I want to try and not make too many.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. What's some ways people can show appreciation to good teachers?
I think the number one thing any teacher you ask that question to will just say the respect. And the respect is when I make a request, respond to that request. Don't fight me on it. Don't try to backtrack or excuse your way out of it.
Mhm.
I'm not looking to make your life any more frustrating than it is right now, but know that what we're asking you to do is what we know you'll need to do. And just trust us. I think a lot of
Yeah.
times teachers aren't trusted. They want to question
That's
our
very
judgment
true.
and question
I
our role.
was definitely guilty of that in high school. I'm not gonna lie.
Teenagers are allowed though. You're still learning.
Yeah, no, it's true. This is the last one.
Okay.
What was I like as a student?
I can't say you were ever disrespectful. Not in the blatantly talking back. But motivation was a
Mm-hmm.
definite need. You're tired a
Definitely.
lot.
Yeah. Yes, I've been working on
Um,
that.
so I just getting you motivated. Once I got you on track and believing in yourself, you were okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you were not a student. I'd be like, oh, he's coming back, because I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have responded to your message.
Right. That's awesome.
But yeah, I think you were like a lot of kids that you didn't have the motivation because you really didn't know what was next.
Yeah. No, that's very true. I also
So
didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And Michigan is hard for what I do mostly like, and that's working with animals, so that's very tough. So,
yeah,
especially like
not a lot of money in it, unfortunately, either.
no, not at all.
Yeah, yeah, but it's a passion. So if you're passionate, do it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find a way.
Yeah. All right. Did you have any questions for me or?
Okay, I'm gonna throw a tough one back at you. What made you reach out to me? What made me a good teacher to you?
Okay, so like you were definitely very like stubborn. You didn't like you weren't like a pushover to like the students at all. So they couldn't just like do what they wanted and everything, but you were also like very respectful and like very like determined on getting somebody to like do what they needed to do to get out of high school and like get their diploma so they can get on to the next step. And I really like appreciated that because um not like any teachers in particular, but when I was at Corona High School, there was a fair amount that didn't and did, and it was just like the ones that did, like I would pass their classes, you know. The ones that didn't really like put any effort into like trying to get me to, it's like I just would go out of it. And as a really young kid, I was on a lot of medication for my
Okay.
allergies because I had really bad eczema, where like sometimes I couldn't walk around. Yeah, it's rough,
Yeah, not
especially
fun.
this time of year.
Yep.
But and so I was on a lot of medication that like really slowed down my brain. I would like be zoned out all the
Alright.
time, and so like that really stunted like my learning ability in grade school. So when I got to like middle school and high school, I was like really behind and like it was very hard for me to learn.
A little overwhelming.
Yeah, very overwhelming.
That's
I did-
interesting to hear now. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
known that then.
Yeah, no, I didn't
Because
really.
you catch on quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. Like whenever I'm trying to get a job, like that's one thing I put in my hats is that I'm a very fast learner and I'm a hard worker. So
I would agree with that. And then I guess, what's one thing you would tell a current student that may not get it yet? What would you tell
Um,
our kids?
definitely trust your teachers and if you're not like if you're not learning that well and like some teachers aren't focusing on you as well, go to the teachers that do focus on you and like help you out and maybe ask them, maybe they know a teacher in that subject that you're like not good at that they can like point you to that will like help you after school. I had a teacher do that for me, and there's many ways that you can like find that like teacher that will help you even if
Yeah.
it's not their subject. I'm sure they'll like do something for you. You just got to reach out to people. Don't think nobody cares.
Don't hide.
Yeah,
I like that.
it's very easy to think nobody cares when like you're not like trying to like find somebody to help you out, you know.
Yeah, it's easier to hide some days.
It
Yeah.
definitely is.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
It's so
Thank
good to
you.
see you.
And I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
Hopefully some other teachers will respond to me too in that way.
Yeah.
I want to like start a whole like series on this so that way maybe like more people will see it and
It's
appreciate
the
the
new way to
teach
get
more.
information out.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
All right.
You have a good one. So guys, I'm back home. If you guys liked that interview and you want to see me do more, hit the like button. Share my video. That helps me out a lot, and get some people to subscribe to me. Thanks again for watching. Right now I'm at home just watching some videos on some festivals that I want to go to in the future. Let me know if you guys would like to see that. Have a good one.